Back? Yeah, nice. Okay, and then we are going to be targeting today, we're going to be working on the water element. So the water element in Chinese medicine is connected to our urinary bladder and kidney organs and meridians. So I'll just tell you a little bit about them. The urinary bladder meridian, where the energy travels in our body, starts from here, goes through both sides of the spine, through the back of the butt, the back of the legs, and down to the outside of your pinky toe. Okay, so in the yin poses today, we're gonna be targeting all this back part here so that we can help free the flow of energy through these channels. All right, this is the urinary bladder channel, so we're mainly targeting the sensations in the back of the legs. And then the kidney meridian runs in the inside of your legs, starting the soles of your feet, travels the inside of your legs and ends here. So for the yin, we'll be targeting this part of the leg and the back part of the leg. That's where I want you to feel the sensation when we're in the pose. We adjust ourselves accordingly so we find that target area with intention and attention. We focus on these areas and we help free blockages and any imbalances in the energy channel so that energy can flow better through the body. Once we're done with this part of the yin practice, we will start to introduce a little bit of movement. And we're gonna start transitioning to the yang part of a practice. We're gonna start on the floor, just introducing some gentle movements in the spine, and then we'll stand up and go through a little flow. Also inviting the two main aspects of the water, which is stillness and movement. All right, so this is how we're gonna integrate this in our practice today. Any questions, any injuries that I need to know before we start?
Just a bit of pain in my wrist.
Okay, we won't be doing too much wrist stuff, so you should be fine. Yeah? And Anna, all good?
I don't speak English, but
Oh.
I understand.
Oh, ok. Mas você pode falar em português também. Eu falo português também.
Obrigada.
Tudo certo? Alguma lesão? Alguma dor no corpo? No.
No.
All good. All right, my loves. So, let's start just with a little grounding meditation. So if you want to sit comfortably, if you got a little cushion that you can put under your hip. And then let's just invite the eyes to close. Let's start to transition the awareness from everything that was happening in our day, in the outside world. Let's start to invite the awareness to go inside so that we can check what's happening in the inner world. The mind will wander off as it does. No problem. Just bring the mind back, training the mind to stay present. Take a moment to root yourself down through your sit bones, through whatever is touching the ground. Imagine that becoming heavier and heavier towards the ground. And from that foundation, I want you to invite your awareness up your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, thinking that you want to grow tall, projecting the top of your head high up towards the sky. Notice if there's any unnecessary tension around the face, especially around the jaw and the space in between your eyebrows. Allow the shoulders to soften, the stomach soften. So there's an internal activation, a more yang energy of the spine growing tall and straight. But there's an external relaxation and melting down of the body in a more yin receptive energy. Take a moment to welcome yourself to your mat, to your practice. Give yourself an inner smile. Being grateful for this moment, for dropping everything that you had going on and committing to yourself, self-love, self-care. Take this moment for yourself. If you would like to bring the hands in prayer in front of the heart and set a specific intention for this practice, please feel free to do so. You can bow the head down towards the heart, sealing your practice, sealing your intention. And slowly, as you're ready, bring the head back up, release the hands down, and start to stretch out your legs. And I'm just going to explain a little bit about our next pose. It's called dragonfly, and it looks a little bit like this. It's the yin version of Upavishta Konasana, if you know that, where we open our legs. Now, there's many different options that I want you to explore. And I want you to do this pose in a way where you feel a stretch in the back of your legs and the inside of your thighs. Okay? So that means that maybe you guys are going to have to bend the knees a little bit, or maybe it's nice to have the legs straight. Maybe you need to sit up on a cushion like I'm doing here. Or if you're very flexible, you don't need it. But I like to use it in front of me so that I can give it a little hug. Yeah? But if you're more on the stiff side, then maybe you're going to be just sitting all the way up here. You can even hold your head. Or put something, if you have, to support your head. Okay? So take a moment to figure out where is the best position for you. I do this pose like this. I put the bolster here and I lay here. We're going to be here for a few minutes. And then I'm going to invite you to walk over to one side. And then the other side. So this is what we're going to be doing over the next almost 10 minutes. All right? So don't go too fast, too soon. Find a place where you can feel the sensations in the back of the legs and the inside of your legs and in your lower back also. But the place where you feel the sensation only enough to remain still for the whole time. So if you go too fast, too soon, you're going to start to shake, the body's going to start to tight, and you're missing out the purpose, okay? So maybe you're going to start a little bit more higher up, and then after a few moments, you can start to melt down a little bit more. All right? So let me just kind of try to check in with you guys, where you're at. Nice. Okay, beautiful. So where you are, just relax your head down. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. And as long as you're feeling a stretch in the back of your legs or in the inside of your legs or both, depending on your flexibility, and also a sensation in the spine, perhaps more intense in the lower back, perhaps more intense in the mid back, but that's all the target area of the water element, targeting urinary, bladder, and kidney meridians. Beautiful. Every time you notice that your body starts to tense up and create some resistance, I want you to take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, you invite these tensions to melt away. You have 1 more minute here. See if you can invite complete stillness into the body. And every time you feel a sensation or a need to move, direct your breath to that part of the body. And with intention, we work on creating more space in the body, clearing energetic blockages, and physically, we're lubricating the joints, making sure we have healthy joints. Beautiful. I want you to stay where you are and take 3 final deep breaths without making any movement. You can direct this breath in your body in the place where you're feeling a sensation most intensely. And when you finish with that third exhale, start to move your torso over to one leg, either side, right or left. Don't need to think about it. You can just intuitively move over to one side. And as you move over to that side, I want you to notice how the sensations of the pose change. Maybe now you feel it in a different part. Continue to stay present with whatever you can observe. Take your pillows with you if you need. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Beautiful, ladies. In this exploration of our water element today, we're going to be talking about a few characteristics of the water element according to Chinese medicine. And one of the big aspects of this element is the emotion related to this element, which is the emotion of fear. So when this element is out of balance in us, we tend to live in fear and we make decisions from a place of fear, not really aligned with our true self and our true purpose. So by making conscious practices, working this water element, we can create a healthier relationship with fear, where fear doesn't freeze us and doesn't stop us from living our full potential. Notice if the body created any tensions during this hold. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, melt down a little bit more. In your last few moments here, there's nothing to do. There's only being right here, right now. I want you to take those 3 final deep breaths exactly where you are, being fully present with all the sensations happening inside of you right now, as you breathe in and as you breathe out, consciously for 3 times. At the end of that third exhale, you can start to move very slowly over to the opposite side, the other leg. As slow as possible, as present as possible, make your way. And notice as you're making your way, what is happening with the sensations in the body? Where is the stretch moving to? Where is it becoming more intense? Maybe you're finding this side more challenging or less challenging. Doesn't really matter. We just observe. Just exploring your bodies, exploring how our minds react to specific situations, how the mind reacts in moments of discomfort, moments of stillness, perhaps moments of boredom. Scan your body, see if there's any unnecessary tension or activation happening in the body. And if you find something, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, melt down a little bit more. Your last few moments here. I invite you now to take 3 deep breaths, being fully aware of the sensations you're feeling in your body. Loving kindness breaths there. And at the end of that third exhale, you're welcome to start to roll up very slowly. And I want you to lay with your entire back down on your mat. I want you to do that very slowly, feeling all the sensations of this release and of the placing back the body down into the mat. Very nice, Philippa, beautiful Anna. Now you can just lay in any way. Particularly I like to lay with my back on the mat, arms spread, arms and legs spread. And I want you to simply observe the results of the previous pose. This is what we call the rebound in Yin Yoga. Physically, whenever we stretch the fascia, connective tissues of the body, we need to give it some time so it can recoil. And more important than that is the cultivation of this inner awareness. Where we're able to feel and know in our bodies and not in our minds. Beautiful. Slowly start to take a deep breath in. If you want to stretch out, stretch out. If you're laying on your back, start to slowly move over to the side and come back to sitting position. And we have one more yin pose before we move on to our yang transition. This yin pose is called the frog, and now we're mainly targeting in here, okay? For the frog, I recommend that you go sideways on your mat like this. And if you do have sensitive knees, maybe you even need to fold or put a little towel or a cushion, okay? So that you don't feel pain in the knees. And in the frog, I'm gonna do it sideways because I think maybe it's better for you to see. There's no alignment here again, okay? So when we do this in a yang practice, we say that the alignment needs to be like this. The foot in line with the knee, you see in a 90. But here, we don't need to have this alignment. Here, I want you to play with where you want your feet to be. And I also want you to play with where your hips are going to be. Maybe it's more efficient for you to bring your hip down, or maybe it's more efficient for you to bring the hip more forward. So I want you to explore for a few moments variations of feet and hips. And I want you to stay in a place where you feel a nice sensation, a nice opening in here. It's also really helpful to use these guys so that you don't need to yang the arms so much. Yeah, so maybe your frog can be something looking like this. So let's see. Let's set it up nicely. Good one. Maybe, Filipa, you want to move sideways on your mat so that your knee are not on the ground? Yeah, maybe, up to you. My knees hurt quite a lot, so I always, yeah. And then find how wide your feet need to be and where your hips need to be for you to get a nice sensation in the inner thighs, growing area. We're targeting now the kidney meridian. Beautiful. You're going to be here for a couple more minutes. And the kidneys, they're very important in Chinese medicine because besides the physical functions of the kidney, like we have in Western medicine, in Chinese medicine, they believe that the kidney stores this energy that's called Jing. And this Jing, they believe it's like you come with this Jing. It's like the powerhouse of your body. You come with a specific amount of Jing. And once that is done, it is done. So it's very important that you cultivate this energy, that you take care of it. And by working too much, burning the candles in both ends, sleeping too little, not taking care of yourself properly, living a life stressful, all these things will deplete this energy, will consume it. Yeah, so it's very important that we preserve and take care of our Jing. So working with the kidneys and the kidney meridians and the water element is specifically important, especially in this moment of so much uncertainty in the world with all this pandemic and these levels of stress. So when we have a strong Jing, we are able to release more, to relax more, because we're more connected with this deep knowing. In the water element, there's this connection with this deep knowing inside of ourselves. So even though we don't know what's going to happen, even though we cannot with our mind fully comprehend and understand things that are happening, we can relax and we can trust, because deep inside we have this knowing that everything is going to be okay. I want you to take 3 deep breaths. into the area where you're feeling the sensations the most. And only when you finish these 3 breaths, I want you to move towards a rebound of your choice. If intuitively it feels better for you to stay in a child's pose, you can go into a child's pose. If you rather lay with your belly down on the ground, you can also just do that. Other rebounds that I love are fetal position, staying curled up in a little ball on your side, and Shavasana shape. So moving very slowly after those 3 breaths into a rebound that feels better for you. You'll stay there for 1 minute, simply observing the results of the previous pose. Beautiful. From your child's pose, I want you to start walking your hands further back close to you and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae the very heavy head. The head will be the last thing that will come up. Once the head is up, I want you to inhale, open your chest, stick your butt out, and breathe in looking up. And as you exhale, I want you to round your back, bring the chin in towards your chest, tuck your tailbone down, and suck your belly in towards your spine. Again, inhale, bringing the shoulder blades together behind the back, tilting the pelvis forward, looking up slightly, opening the heart. And exhale, tuck the tailbone down, roll those shoulders away from each other, separate your shoulder blades, bring the navel in. And now I want you to start to find a rhythm in this movement. I want you to follow your own breath, inhaling and exhaling with the movement, with intention. Expanding and opening the chest as you inhale and rounding the back and the tailbone as you exhale. The urinary bladder meridian run along both sides of the spine. So by doing these movements, we start to awaken the spine, activating, influencing the flow of chi, the flow of prana, in the energy lines of the urinary bladder meridians. Beautiful. Once you finish your next inhalation, on the exhalation you go to an all fours position. Your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. And once again, I want you to inhale, look up, bring the shoulder blades together, tailbone up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, roll the vertebrae, tuck the chin in towards the chest. And once again, I want you to find a rhythm that suits you and your breath. Really exaggerating the movements and feeling the sensations in the spine as you play with flexion and extension of your vertebrae. Maybe you want to speed up. Maybe you want to go really slow. Doesn't matter, it's your body, it's your practice. And we're gonna start a more dynamic movement. So tucking your feet behind you. Inhale, opening your chest. And the exhale will take you to a downward facing dog. It's dynamic, so the inhale takes the knees down, open the chest, look up, shoulder blades together. And the exhale takes you to downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Once again, I'll leave you here for a few moments, finding tune with your breath and flowing in any speed that feels good for you today. Some days slower the better, some days a little faster for a little bit more energy. So with the yin practice, we cleared blockages in the energy channels. And now with the yang practice, we're going to start to get this energy flowing through the body. One more time. And the next time you stay in downward facing dog, I want you to stay here. I want you to pedal out your heels. I want you to breathe into the areas of your body where you're feeling this down dog the most today. Maybe it's the legs, maybe it's the arms, the shoulders. Whatever it is, do a little bit of movement, send the breath, send the love there. Now finding complete stillness in your downward facing dog. I want you to bring your chin to your chest, round your upper back, come to the tip of your toes. And you're going to start to come forwards, and then bring your hips down towards the ground. And the last thing is your head is going to roll up. This is an inhale and you look up. Exhaling, bring the chin in towards your chest first. Tuck your toes and start to roll your vertebrae back to downward facing dog. Making a more dynamic movement. On the inhale, with the chin to your chest, you roll the vertebrae, bringing your hips down to the ground. Lastly, opening the chest and looking up with your head. And on the exhale, the chin goes down first. Tuck your toes and rolling vertebrae by vertebrae back to downward dog. 2 more on your own. Beautiful, guys. Try to roll the vertebrae, open that chest, nice, Anna, look up. And exhale, roll back to down dog. 1 more. Nice, Filipa. That's it. We meet in downward facing dog. On the inhale, I want you to lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose. Look to the floor in front and between your hands and place the right foot there. Turn your left heel down to the ground, 45 degrees. And on the following inhale, rise up to warrior 1. Exhale, take it to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, bring your forearm to your leg and your left hand above your head. I'm going to turn around so I can face you, but you just stay there. Inhale takes you to warrior 2. Exhale takes you to Tita Parsvakonasana. We flow 3 more times. Inhale to warrior 2. Exhale to Tita Parsvakonasana. Inhale to warrior 2. Exhale, Uttita Parsvakonasana, and now we hold. Here you have the option to stay here in this simple variation. If there's any variation that you know and you like, you can go there. A few suggestions is the hand outside the foot, or a full bind if you have more mobility in your shoulders and hips. In the bind, your right hand will hold your left wrist. So wherever you are, you're staying for 3 more breaths. Find the power, find the strength, and resolve to stay here for 1 more breath. The following inhale will take you up to warrior 2. Beautiful. And on the exhale, windmill the hands down, step back, lower yourself down through chaturanga. Inhale to open the heart, roll those shoulders back and down. Exhale, downward facing dog. We do the same on the left side. On the inhale, the left leg goes all the way up and back. Exhale, bring the knee in towards your nose, round your back, separate your shoulder blades. Look in between your hands and step gracefully your foot in between your hands. Turn your back heel down. The following inhale brings you up. Palms touch, warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior, go all the way back, bend that front knee. And on the exhale, you go to Utthita Padasvakonasana. First we flow, inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, extended triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale. Last one with movement. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, Utthita Padasvakonasana, and now we hold. Repeat the same variation that you've done on the other side if it's available. If you're going for the bind, Anna, see if you can lean back a little bit more. Like you want to, yeah. Costa para trás, like there's a wall behind you, you want to bring your back there. So your chest is open to the sky. 2 more breaths. The pose starts when we want to leave it. And on the following inhale, bring yourself up to warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands down, step back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Stay here for 5 breaths. Strong hands on the floor, fingers spread wide, shoulders rolling away from the ears, active legs. If you know the Ujjayi breath, make sure you're breathing in Ujjayi breath. Bring a bend in your knees, look in between your hands, and on the inhale, step or jump forward, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold to the ground in Uttanasana. On the inhale, let's start to roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. You can bend your knees and start to roll up. Heavy arms, heavy head. Stack the vertebrae on top of each other. Then the shoulders, then the head, and then the arms, inhaling, bringing up. Palms touch. Exhale, dive forward all the way down with grace and ease. Inhalation brings your chest up, lengthen your spine. Exhalation, bring your hands down, step or jump back and lower yourself down through chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, open the heart, shoulders back and down. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bring the right knee towards the right armpit. Round your back and bring that knee all the way up. Inhale to bring it back to the sky. Exhale, bring the right knee to the left armpit. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. Round your upper back more. Separate those shoulder blades more. Look in between your hands. Place your foot there. Inhale, go all the way up to warrior two. I'm gonna have to turn around. You stay there. From warrior two, extend your front leg. You can close the stance a little bit if it's too wide. Inhale, lean forward, 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 and come to Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Look up in the left hand in the sky if it's comfortable on your neck. And think about bringing your whole back, like there's a wall behind you that you want to put the back of your shoulders on. Two more breaths. You can either stay here or you can bring the top hand behind your back and see if you can hold on to your right thigh. If you look down to the ground, you can bring the right hand down. Perhaps you need a block or maybe just the fingertips. You're going to try to lift the back leg up. Ardha Chandrasana. Your hand can stay here, your hand can lift up to the sky, or your hand can hold on to your foot in the sky. Wherever you are, you're breathing, you're present. Very nice. Bring your hand down. See if you can bring both feet together in Uttanasana. Fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Roll the spine up. Exhale, back down to Uttanasana. 2 more times. Inhale, roll your spine up to lengthen. Exhale, fold and melt down. Last one. Inhale, open the chest, straight spine. Exhale, round and melt down. Inhalation, we're going to come rolling up. Bend your knees and roll vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms are heavy, head is heavy, dangling down. When the shoulders and the head come up, and finally the arms swing up, palms touch, and the exhalation, dive with grace all the way down back to Uttanasana. Drop the head. Inhale, lifting the chest, straight spine. Exhale, bring your hands down, step or jump back, and lower yourself down through Chaturanga. Inhale to open your chest, roll those shoulders back and down. Exhalation brings you to downward facing dog. Very nice. So here we go. On the inhale, the left leg comes up. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the left armpit. You need to round your back. Inhale, lift that leg. Exhale, bring the leg to the other side. Remember to activate the tip of the fingers. Inhale, lift the leg. Last one, exhale, knee to the nose. Especially Filipa, activate the tip of your fingers so that you take weight away from your wrists. Look in between your hands, place your foot there. Inhalation takes you to warrior two. I'll switch again. You stay. From warrior two, inhale, extend your front leg. Close your stance if it's too wide. Lean forward and then bring your hand down, finding Utthita Trikonasana. This hand can be anywhere, on the floor, on the foot, or on the chin. The left hand, right hand is on the sky. This hand is lifting you up. So don't think about energy collapsing down towards the ground. You don't want to go to the ground. You want to go up towards the sky. So rise up. Three more breaths. Beautiful. From here, look down towards the ground. You can keep the hand up or you can bind behind if you did last time. Okay. And then after a couple breaths, you can bring the hand on the floor. Tip of the fingers work for me. Maybe you need a block. Or maybe you can put the hand down. You can keep the arm behind you. You can keep the arm up. Or you can hold the foot. If you're holding on to the foot, see if you can reach that leg way far away from you. And breathe. Still breathe. And one. See if with control you can transition directly to Uttanasana. Feet next to each other. Exhale, fold. And again, we swing with the spine. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift the chest. Exhale, fold, melt down, drop the head. Two more. Inhale, roll, wave in the spine. Come into flat. Exhale, drop it all the way down. Use your breath. Find your rhythm. Next time you arrive in Uttanasana, you stay there. Breathe. Bend your knees, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae very slowly. Heavy head and arms. The spine is up, the shoulders roll back, the head lifts up, the arms rise up, palms touch. Exhalation, bring the hands down through the midline in front of your heart center. Bow your head down towards your heart. Take a moment to observe the results of your Yang practice. The beating of your heart, the speed of your breath, maybe some sweat on the skin. Reconnect with your intention. And on the following inhale, I want you to step the right foot back, turn to the side of your mat. You can keep your hands in the heart center, and you're gonna start to squat. You can point your toes out and your heels in, and we're gonna start to squat down into a little goddess pose. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. If you have any other variation that with the hands that you prefer, please feel free to do so. Maybe you can go a little bit lower. Three more breaths, sink a little bit lower. You can do it. And inhale to come up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, straighten your spine. Exhale, start to walk your hands back like you want to bring your head on the ground, but you don't. So if you're very flexible, continue to go. Pass through the legs. 2 more breaths. Activate your feet on the ground. And slowly you're going to start to bend one knee and bring your hip down. Now this is a free flow. Any speed, dynamic, any personality with your hands, everything is welcome. I want you to free flow, just like water. Maybe you are a little pond, maybe you are a big waterfall, powerful ocean. Whatever expression of water that comes to you right now, try to embody it as you move from side to side. In any way, really free expression, free flow. Tune in, close your eyes, enjoy your breath, enjoy your body. Just really have a good time. No one, absolutely no one is watching. Just do whatever you like. Start to finish up both sides of whatever it is that you're doing. And come to a squatting position in Malasana whenever you're ready. Take all the time you need. And maybe you can come to a squatting down position. If you need any supports, make sure you grab it. If you need to roll your mat to support your heels a little bit better, that's also an option. If possible, bring the hands in prayer in front of your heart center. Close your eyes. Just breathe into your hips. So much gets stored in our hips. We hold on to so much shit down there. So really just take a moment to breathe it in, creating space in the body with intention and attention. Two more breaths. Open your chest a little bit more. Beautiful. If you want, two ways to leave this pose, okay? One way is just simply bringing your hands down and you go for a chaturanga. If you want to be more playful and play with an arm balance, you can go for a bakasana. If you know what crow pose is and bakasana means, just go for it. If you want to have a look, you bring your hands on the ground with your fingers really spread. And Filipa, if your wrist hurts, careful with your fingers, right? Activate the tip of your fingers a lot. Lift your hips, come to the tip of your toes, and see if you can bring the knee to your armpits or your forearm. And if you're not familiar with this pose, you can just start to play with the weight. Forward. It's important that your bum is pointing up to the sky. Okay, so it's kind of like biomechanics of physics. If your butt is high up in the sky, your feet will lift up. Then you stay here. Count 3 breaths here, and from here, see if you can jump back to chaturanga. And then you flow. So take your time, you can play a few times. Nice. If you're trying Bakasana, look forward. That's it, Anna. Shoot back, chaturanga. Good job, guys. Beautiful. Lovely. From your downward facing dog, I want you to jump through and come to a seated position. Bring the soles of your feet together like a butterfly pose. Inhale to open up your chest, lift the spine. And as you exhale, invite the body forward and down. So we're past the peak yang of our practice, and we're going back to slowing down, preparing ourselves for the final Shavasana. Start to allow the body to melt down a little bit, soften the breath. Three more breaths here. Following inhalation brings you up. And see if you can grab those cushions or pillows we've been working. And I want us to bring it to the middle of like the upper back, around your shoulder blades up here, so that your back is nice and open. So it's like a passive back bending, yeah? So you're opening the front of your body. So see what you can do. Maybe you need to fold them a little bit like this, sideways, so that they can be a little higher. This quite works well. And then I want you to just lay here with an open chest. You can do whatever you want with your legs. You can keep them in butterfly like we were doing before. Or you can have them apart as you like. Also, please take a time to notice what you want to do with your arms. Maybe they feel good open out to the sides. Maybe you prefer to hold the elbows up above your head. So just explore a few options. Invite your eyes to close. Once again, tune in. It's not such a long hold. You only have a couple more breaths here. Very nice. Now you can just roll to the side to lift up. Now I want us to lift the hips, okay? So I'll show you a few options. If you have nicer cushions, you can just bring them under your bum. But for me, this is too low. I need more height. So usually I use a block. If you don't have a block, you can use your arms. You can bring your hands in your sacrum with your fingers out, and you can support yourself here. If this is not good for you and you don't have anything else, then just do it actively. Use the strength in your legs and lift your hips up. Okay, because now we want to open this part here. So it's important that it's lifted enough, either with support or with the support of your hands or with the strength of your legs. I want you to lift those hips up towards the sky. You can bring the shoulders together behind your back a little bit more to open the chest. Let me see what you guys are up to. Nice. Two more breaths. Lift your hips a little bit higher if you can. And in the following breath, you start to bring vertebrae by vertebrae down. So the upper back, then the mid back, then the lower back, then the sacrum. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Hug your arms around your knees. If you want to bring a little movement side to side, it's fine. If you prefer to stay completely still, also fine. And some people really like to bring the hands on the knees and just roll the knees around a little bit. Whatever you're doing, you're present with your choices, with your breath. And then finally coming back to a stillness in the center with the knees in towards your chest. And I want you to open your arms out to the sides, shoulder height, with the palms of the hands facing up. Inhale here. And on the exhalation, bring both knees to fall over to the right side. You can bring the gaze over to the left. You can bring even that same cushion. Some people really like it in between the legs or just above the knees from some extra weights. See if any of that works for you. We have 3 more breaths here. Once you're done with those 3 breaths, if you put a prop, remove it. Bring your legs back to center. Take a moment to square yourself out here. Make sure your hips and your shoulders are back aligned. Then once again, open your arms. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhalation, the legs fall over to the left side. If the prop worked well, go for it. If you haven't tried it on the other side and now you want to, that's also fine. Take 3 final breaths there. And then come to a Shavasana straight position. It's a final relaxation moment. Slowly start to take a deep breath in. Some movements of the legs, the hands, the arms. If you like to stretch the whole body out. And then turn over to the right side. Stay in fetal position. Using the left hand on the floor to help you rise up to a seated position. Moving very slowly. Allow your eyes to remain closed. Take a moment to simply sit, to observe yourself. Observe the results of your practice today. If you're able to learn something about yourself, maybe you had some insights or some realization. Observe if you were able to stay connected with your intention. If you were able to stay present with your breath. All observations without judgment. No right or wrong, no good or bad. If you'd like to bring the hands together in front of the heart center, to seal your practice, dedicating the merits, the efforts of your practice to whoever you desire, and in whatever you believe in. I dedicate this practice to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and hope to see you all next week. Namaste. I think your mics are mute. How did it go?